Everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking all 2025 UFC pay-per-views. Let's get into it. There's 13 here. Starting off with number 13 we have is UFC 321. UFC 321 was a pretty solid card overall, even though the main and co-main really killed the momentum for me. The prelims had some fun moments, especially Quillan Selkfield landing that insane head kick KO. It just came out of nowhere. And it was beautiful. Most of the other prelim fights ended in decisions, so nothing too crazy there. On the main card, Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Mazukhanov was definitely the highlight, with Mazukhanov taking a first-round TKO and making it look easy. The rest of the main card leaned heavily onto decisions. And then the night ended with a frustrating note, with Cyril Gane causing a no contest, which was a cheap, unnecessary move. Overall, there was some amazing finishes and moments, but the ending really left with a bad taste, unfortunately. Yeah, the fight I've been waiting for ages. I mean, it was going to be Aspinall-John Jones, but Aspinall-Gane ended in a no contest in the first round. Yeah, it sucked. And unfortunately, it has to be at bottom, at number 13. Number 12 we have is UFC 312. UFC 312 delivered an action-packed night of fights, headlined by two impressive title defenses of Dricus du Plessis retaining his middleweight championship with a dominant unanimous decision over Sean Strickland, controlling the pace and leaving Strickland with a busted nose by round 4. And the co-main, Zhang Weili, successfully defended her women's strawweight belt, neutralizing Tatiana Suarez's wrestling and dominating on the feet for a clear unanimous decision. The main card also featured Talison Teixeira scoring a first-round TKO over Justin Tafa, Jake Matthews earning a solid decision, but a boring decision over Francisco Prado, and a hotly debated majority draw between Jimmy Crute and Rodolfo Bellato. The prelims offered plenty of highlights as well, with Jack Jenkins losing to Gabriel Santos in the third round, Tom Nolan and Wang Kong picking up unanimous decision wins, and Quillan Selkfield stealing the show with a lightning first-round KO. Overall, UFC 312 delivered a mix of dominant performances, exciting finishes, and a few contentious moments, earning I'd say a 7 out of 10 for this card. Yeah, I mean, there were some boring fights. Some were fun. Main was fun. Co-main was alright. Yeah. Number 11 for me, we have is UFC 316. UFC 316 was packed with action and some memorable finishes, headlined by two dominant title fights. In the main event, Rav Dvalishvili retained his bantamweight championship by submitting Sean O'Malley with a north-south guillotine in the third round, showcasing his relentless pressure and grappling mastery. The co-main saw Kayla Harrison capture the UFC bantamweight champion, locking in a perfect Kimura on Juliana Pena in round 2 to claim the championship in empathetic fashion. The main card also delivered with Joe Pyfer and Mario Batista earning unanimous decision wins over Kelvin Gastelum and Patchy Mix, respectively. Kevin Holland submitting Vicente Luque via Darce choke in the second round, and Joshua Van stopping Bruno Silva with a third-round TKO. The prelims were equally exciting, highlighted by Ju Sang Yu knocking out Jika Saraki in just 28 seconds, Azamat Mazukhanov scoring a first-round TKO over Brenderson Ribeiro, a solid decision victories from Markel Medeiros and Waldo Cortez Acosta, and Andreas Gustafsson. Overall, UFC 316 combined high-level grappling, explosive knockouts, and decisive finishes, making it a night to remember, earning a 7 out of 10, to be honest. Number 10 we have is UFC 315. UFC 315 delivered an entertaining night full of title fights and highlight finishes in the main event. Jake Della Maddalena became the new UFC welterweight championship with a hard-fought unanimous decision over Bilal Muhammad, while Valentina Shevchenko successfully defended her UFC flyweight title with a unanimous decision over Manon Fiorot, controlling the fight from start to finish. The rest of the main card featured solid performances, including Ayman Zahabi defeating Jose Aldo, Natalia Silva dominating Alexa Grasso, Benoit Saint Denis submitting Kyle Prepelic, and Mike Millett scoring a quick second round KO over Charles Radke. The prelims were equally action-packed, highlighted by Jasmine Jesuda Fishers submitting Jessica Andrade in the first round, Marc-Andre Barriault landing an early elbow KO, Bigzat Al-Makan knocking out Brad Katona, and a strong decision wins from Modestas Bukauskas, Navajo Sterling, and Daniel Santos. Overall, UFC 315 offered a mix of technical battles and explosive finishes, earning a solid 7 out of 10 for me. Number 9 for me, we have is UFC 313. UFC 313 delivered a solid night of fights, though it felt a bit lackluster overall, despite some exciting moments. The main event saw Magomed Ankalaev claiming the UFC championship with a unanimous decision over Alex Pereira, controlling the fight with smart striking and solid defense. Pretty alright fight. Justin Gaethje secured a clean unanimous decision. Clean unanimous decision over Rafael Fiziev. Ignacio Bahamontes impressed early with a first-round triangle choke over Jalen Turner. Mauricio Huffy stole some attention with highlight reel wheel kick over King Green. Amanda Lemos earned a unanimous decision over Isman Lucindo. The prelims featured solid performances as well, including Joshua Van and Carlos Leal picking up big wins, and Bruno Ferreira submitting Eamon Petrosian in the second round. Early prelims were quieter, with decisions from Marion Santos and Ozzy Diaz. Overall, UFC 313 was good with several standout finishes, but the card lacked the extra spark to make it truly memorable, earning a 7.2. It was a fun card, but just a little bit. There were just problems. Number 8 for me, we have UFC 318. UFC 318 was a solid card with plenty of action through it. Didn't quite hit the heights you might expect from a pay-per-view. The main event saw Max Holloway retain the BMF title with a unanimous decision over Dustin Poirier, and what was Poirier's retirement fight, a competitive and respectful farewell for the veteran. Paulo Costa, Daniel Rodriguez, Patricio Pitbull, and Michael Johnson all picked up unanimous decisions wins, making for a technically strong but somewhat predictable main card. The prelims delivered a bit more excitement, highlighted by Atiba Gutierrez scoring a first-round TKO, Brendan Allen defeating Marvin Vettori with a split decision, Nikolay Vertanokov. Early prelims featured a flurry of first-round finishes, including Islam Doltatov and Khalid Jouis, submissions from Jimmy Crute, Ryan Spann, and Bruno Ferreira. Overall, UFC 318 was a good card, but with some standout finishes and a solid performance, but a little lackluster in terms of overall drama, earning a 7.2 out of 10. Number 7 for me, we have UFC 320. UFC 320 delivered an exciting night of fights, highlighted by several memorable performances in the main event. Alex Pereira reclaimed the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship with a first-round TKO over Magomed Ankalaev and a dominant rematch. Murav Dvalishvili successfully defended his bantamweight title with a commanding unanimous decision over Corey Sandhagen, showcasing his relentless pressure and grappling. The card also featured Yuri Prochazka scoring a third-round KO over Khalil Rountree Jr., a fight that stood as fight of the night and one of the top bouts of 2025. Yusuf Zalal and Joe Pyfer added impressive finishes with first-round armbar and second-round rear naked choke, respectively. The prelims delivered more action, including Atiba Gutierrez and Daniel Santos earning early TKOs, Edmund Shabazian landing a first-round KO, and a split decision with Jacob Bolchian over Patchy Mix. Early prelims saw strong decision victories from Buchila Sonaro, Yana Santos, and Farid Basharat. Overall, UFC 320 combined high-level striking, slick submissions, and standout performances, earning a solid 7.2 out of 10. Number 6 for me, we have is UFC 319. UFC 319 featured a strong lineup of fights, highlighted by Khamzat Chimaev capturing the UFC Middleweight Championship with a dominant unanimous decision over Dricus du Plessis, taking every round and showing complete control. The main card also delivered several highlight finishes, including Lerone Murphy scoring a first-round spinning elbow KO over Aaron Pico, and Carlos Brites landing a spinning back elbow KO against Jeff Neal. Michael Page earned a unanimous decision over Jared Cannonier, while Tim Elliott submitted Kaio Sakura with a second-round guillotine choke. The prelims featured more action with Baisong versus Kaiev submitting Eric Nolan, Michael Oleksiejczuk and Alexander Hernandez both scoring first-round TKOs, and Lupe Godinez defeating Jessica Andrade by decision. Early prelims included unanimous decision over Takara Close and Corinne Silva, and Joseph Morales claimed the Ultimate Fighter 33 flyweight title. It wasn't a title, with a triangle choke submission. Overall, UFC 319 was solid with multiple finishes and solid performance. Though the main event was effective, was a bit lacking in excitement, but it was a good card overall. So I'll give it a 7.3 out of 10. Number 5 we have is UFC 311. UFC 311 delivered a solid night of fights with several impressive finishes. Though the main event was a bit of a letdown, Islam Makhachev retained his lightweight title with a first-round Darce choke submission over Renato Moicano, but fans were hoping for an originally scheduled matchup against Arman Sarukian, who ended up pulling out. Ravdvalishvili also successfully defended his bantamweight title, earning a unanimous decision over Umar Nurmagomedov. Yuri Prohaska scored a third-round TKO over Jamal Hill, while Jolton Almeida and Rene DeRitter added a first-round finish with a TKO and submission respectively. The prelims offered more action, including Asmat Bekaev landing a first-round KO, Bogdan Guzgov submitting Billy Alakana, and a solid decision win from Ranoni Basalos, Grant Dawson, Alan Perez, Moonin Gafarov, Bernardo Sapraj, and Ulan Bekov. Overall, UFC 311 showcased high-level striking and grappling across this card, earning a 7.3 out of 10 for me. Number 4 we have is UFC 322. UFC 322 was an exciting card highlighted by some massive knockouts. Even if the main and co-main events weren't the most thrilling, Islam Makhachev captured the welterweight title with a flawless unanimous decision over Jack Della Maddalena, while Valentina Shevchenko retained her women's flyweight belt with a dominant decision over Zhang Weili. Both solid performances, but not particularly flashy. The real fireworks came elsewhere, with Sean Brady scoring a loss over Michael Morales by KO, Carlos Brites landing a second-round KO over Leon Edwards, and Benoit Saint-Denis dispatching Beneil Dariush in just 16 seconds. The prelims also delivered, and including Bo Nichols' third-round TKO over Rodolfo Vieira, Aaron Blanchfield submitting Tracy Cortez, and Kyle Dawkins finishing Gerald Meerschaert quickly with a Darce choke. Overall, UFC 322 offered a mix of solid decision fights and highlight reel knockouts, earning a 7.3 out of 10 for me. Now into our top 3. Number 3 I have is UFC 314. UFC 314 was an entertaining card highlighted by some huge performances and exciting finishes. Alexander Volkanovski returned to the top by capturing the vacant featherweight title with a competitive unanimous decision over Diego Lopez. A fun and tactical fight that showcased his skills, resilience. Paddy Pimblett stole the show with a third-round TKO over Michael Chandler, a dominant performance that had fans on their feet. Yair Rodriguez earned a clear decision over Patricio Bimble. Gene Silva submitted Bryce Mitchell. Dominic Reyes knocked out Nikita Krylov. The prelims were good. Dan Ige stopping Sean Woodson. Julian Erosa stopping Darren Elkins, and some strong decisions from Vernon Jandaroba, Chase Hooper, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, Summit Daji, Mauricio Tulio, and Nora Canol. Overall, UFC 314 combined fun title action with highlight reel finishes, earning a solid 7.3 out of 10. My number 2, the one that sadly didn't make number 1, I have is UFC 323. UFC 323 was one of the most fun cards of the year, packed with exciting finishes and memorable moments. Petr Yan captured the UFC bantamweight title with a unanimous decision over Ravdvalishvili, while Joshua Van pulled off a lightning 26-second TKO over Alexandre Pantoja to win the UFC flyweight title. Tatsuro Taira impressed with a second-round TKO over Brandon Moreno, and Peyton Tabit earned a solid unanimous decision over Henry Cejudo. Unfortunately, the co-main ended in a majority draw. It ended in a, and Alexander Pantoja Did he break his elbow? He did something with his arm. I forgot exactly what he did with his arm. Jan Blachowicz and Bogdan Guzkov ended a majority draw, which kept the card from being truly perfect. The prelims delivered as well, maybe including Macy Barber returning as after almost 2 years with a decision win over Corrine Silva. Edson Barboza getting knocked out by Jalen Turner. Terrence McKinney picking up... Terrence McKinney picking... what's his name? Chris Duncan picking up a win over Terrence McKinney by TKO. Iwo Baranovsky and Marion Santos, both with TKO wins. Overall, UFC 323 was a high-energy card, full of fun moments and highlight reel finishes, earning a solid 7.3 out of 10 for me. But my number one card of the year was, of course, UFC 317. UFC 317 was a great card, highlighted by some spectacular finishes and dominant performances. Ilia Topuria captured the vacant UFC lightweight title with a first-round KO over Charles Oliveira, and a knockout that was both brutal and beautifully executed. Alexandre Pantoja retained his UFC flyweight title with a commanding third round rear naked choke submission over Kai Kara France, showcasing his grappling dominance. Joshua Van, Benil Dariush, and Peyton Tabit picked up unanimous decisions. Wins over on the main card, adding depth and consistency to the event. The prelim delivered exciting moments as well, including Terrence McKinney submitting Vyacheslav Borshev in under a minute, Jacoby Smith locking his second round in a rear naked choke, a solid decision victory from Jonathan Dinez and Tracy Cortez. Early prelims brought more fireworks, with Gregory Rodriguez knocking out Jacob Manson and Jose Miguel Delgado scoring a quick 20-second KO. Overall, UFC 317 combined highlight reel finishes with dominant performances, earning a solid 7.3 out of 10. Great card, very fun card. Overall, this year, I would say not UFC's best year, but it was a fun year. We had some fun fights, we had some fun events, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching me rank all UFC pay-per-views of 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. It'll be a massive help. Thanks for watching. Take care. Peace.